Yeah, so I knew that when I was preparing the sermon that I want to be short, actually, and that I want to say two messages. So the first message is that he was the last 4 years of his life, so that he was blind, but his internal world, as I perceived it and I could see it, was full of shine, full of light. Yeah. And so this was the first message. So external blindness, but inwardly full of light. And blindness, what is blindness? Blindness means actually darkness. Blindness means no forms, but inwardly very rich, deep, shiny life.
Even
also,
lighter.
Even
lighter inside than most people have it.
Yes, yeah. And the second message was, or I wanted to transfer, was that was connected with the slogan which came to my mom after he died, and we used this slogan on the sermon. In the sermon, and the slogan was, I will say it poor Czech, as he lived, as he has lived in silence, he left us in silence. Maybe you tell it more.
He left in silence just as he had lived.
Yeah, exactly. So he left in silence just as he lived, which to my mom was a very nice expression of how he was. Mm-hmm. And so I used this message to say, yes, it was in silence. From the external point of view, from the external observer, he lived actually in silence, but he had very rich, deep, sensitive, emotional, conscious life, what I felt. So these two messages I used to prepare the sermon. Yeah. Yeah. So and the let's say the experience I made with my father's death, probably also I would say there are two big experiences, and the first experience is actually, witnessing his dying and then seeing the dead body. So I was so sure. I was so sure that this body, and not only this body, but the body-mind complex, the body and the stories connected with this body, and all the perspective, all the ideas, all these things connected with the body, which is now dead. It's not true, actually. It's not quite real. That so sure that he is still alive and he still lives. This is something I don't know how to, let's say it so that, because this is very personal, and I know this is my personal subjective perspective, but so real.
You mean that his body was his vessel, like during his life, and then when you saw his body, you just saw the vessel. You knew that there was nothing inside.
Yeah, I saw it like
somewhere else.
Exactly, I saw it like a vessel, like a coat. He left here, and his real he, I mean his real I, his real essence, still alive and was even before and after and is now. And so that actually he never died. And so this is one very strong moment I experienced, and I am so sure that he actually didn't die. And
just moved.
Exactly, moved, transferred, even not transferred, because some people they say, yeah, okay, he transferred, but in some sense yes, but still the essence remain the same, with body, without body. So this is one very intense moment and experience. And the second moment and experience I made was that the awareness, to be aware or somehow to see that you die and all your thinking, all your perspective, all your stories die somehow with you, and they are so fleeting, they are so unimportant actually from one perspective also. This is interesting, you cannot say it, they are absolutely unimportant, but for the person, for the persona, which is an illusion, they are very important, the stories. But the persona was dying, the persona died, and with this persona, with this individuality, died actually all the stories. But the message is that if you didn't experience it consciously, so then you missed it. You missed it and missed it. So there is only present moment which is real in the sense of living, in the sense of consciousness. And if you don't live it fully, the present moment, then you miss it. And you actually, from that perspective, you cannot trick it. You cannot trick your life. You live it 100% or you don't. And from that perspective, this is so clear. This is so clear. Are you there fully? Are you there now in the present moment, fully you? Or do you trick yourself? Or do you fake yourself somehow? Or are you somehow blind with some your illusions or delusions, or so, and then this is so obvious from the position of death. So the death itself is very healthy, very strong perspective, which makes all things in life very clear. You cannot manipulate with this. You cannot be
cheat it.
You cannot cheat death. And this was so clear, and this is so clear also. So there are two messages also. Again, let's summarize it. The first was that there's this present moment so strong, and if you don't live it fully, consciously, now, fully be there, you missed it. And from the, let's say, perspective of death, everything is clear. And you know your priorities, you know what to do, you know how to behave, you know how to answer. Be clear, radical authentic, and don't cheat it. You cannot cheat death. So that perspective is very healthy, is very clear also, and very easy, very simple. And with this is also connected the, let's say, the awareness and somehow the deep truth, what I felt, and I know it's subjective, but still, that, okay, my dad died, but somehow I know that what has died was this body-mind complex with all the stories, all the mental noise, all the, let's say, perspective, which some of them were very valuable, some of them were okay, maybe not so important, but for him, who knows how it was. But the point is that everything what died was not true at the end, was not the real true, the deep true, but the true, the real essence, who he is, never died. Is still here, and this is so real also for me and so obvious. But I know it's very subjective, and this is hard to somehow transmit it for somebody else. Yeah.
And did you get any new perspectives from him dying?
Yeah,
things that feel less important now.
Yeah, actually nothing specific now, but generally yes, I somehow maybe digest these two experiences more deeply inside of my, let's say, of my perceiving, of my being, of my thinking, of my behavior, so that when there will be some challenging moment, if there will be some situation I should make some decision, so it will be, I hope, from this perspective, much more clearer and smoother, actually also easier.
Less important, or like?
Yeah,
It
relatively.
doesn't matter how I decide, because in the end,
exactly,
it doesn't matter.
Yes, relatively more important. It's also, this is something. Yeah, this is also interesting topic, because generally it's very easy to start to be nihilist if you experience a death in your family, with your friends, and even a death of some your animal, your pet you love, you somehow take like a member of your family, and there is a death of your very close friend, very close relatives, pet, but still you can call it family member. So then if you experience such death, then sure, it's very painful, and then you have the reason to say to the world, to the God, hey, why do you do this? What all has sense? What sense has all this? You let us born, and then you kill us. Actually, the life kill us, and the God kill us. I don't know how to say it, but you actually. I felt very close to start to be this nihilist. To start, why? What the sense? What the meaning of all this? So there is a guy born, then and then he
all those experiences.
Exactly. All the experiences then goes away like nothing, zero. And then there is a war, for example. There is a new baby born, and then after 3 weeks, 4 weeks died. What the sense? Fuck this. Really, this. Even so, be very upset on the God and angry with the God, because why let us really to suffer so much? There's so much suffering in the world. Why? What the point? Fuck it. Go away with all this shit,
And did those thoughts last long in your head?
No, it was a very brief moment, because the only thing why I was able to stay humble and nice and peaceful was that I knew that everybody on this planet, on this earth, has such similar experience. Everybody who was born here, every form born somehow emerged here in this world will die. Even the sun will die, even the buildings will die, all the structures will die, people will die, everything. So I will die, you will die, everybody will die. So actually, in this sense, knowing this, that all this world is born and to die, actually, is born to die, everybody. And this is not just intellectual blah blah, this is so real, is born to die. So only this awareness of this fact keeps me, let's say, sane, keeps me calm, in peace, keeps me humble, keeps me in peace with God in life. And I am only one thought away to start to be nihilist on all this.
Still, at the moment now as well.
Yes, this is so fragile, but it's also very stable. I'm okay. I will not do this. But I just want to emphasize the fact that because of the fact that we are born to die, everybody here, everything, each form, everything. So this is the destiny of all this world, to die.
And what would you say to someone who, like you said, lost a baby after 3 weeks of life? Like, what was the point in only 3 weeks rather than like your dad had? Okay. I don't know how old he was. But
yes, this is so. Okay,
what
this
would
is.
You say to someone?
Okay, this is very.
To not become like you said, to not start hating God and.
Yeah, first I would accept all feelings which will come to the mom or to the dad. Absolutely recognize the feelings and be with them in the, let's say, the emotional world, in the pain, in the suffering, in the grief. Yes. On the other hand, there is the long-term perspective. Exactly this perspective. We all are somehow destined to die, and from this long-term perspective, there is, there is the time of 3 weeks of 300 years doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But still, you have to accept the pain of such tragedies. On the other hand, you don't need to suffer more just because you start to think about, you start to be victim, you start to be, why, and you start to fight with the world, you start to fight with the God, you start to fuck the world, you start to, be against, and this is something which at the end will do nothing, and life is not such. Life is exactly as it is. It means it starts, the forms of life starts and they die. So this is a combination of these two perspectives. One perspective is absolutely acceptable and very, with huge respect, all the emotions which can emerge to the parents or to the family's member if there is a child who died, because this is a very big tragedy if the parents needs to bury the children. Opposite way is more natural, but all this can happen. And the second perspective is that, there is, from the long-term perspective, 100 years, eons, never ending, the universal perspective. So this is no big difference, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 months, 30 years, 300 years being alive, so everybody will die, the sun will die, the universe will die, and all the realities are dying and changing the form. So this is how it is. This is how it is. This is how it is.